Crazy.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Camping Adventure Unplugged. My name is Eric Altman, and joining me in the co-host chair is the one and only Jay Bachochin. Hey, Jay, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, butter. What's going on? This is Unplugged.
It's going to be really unplugged because, first of all, I'm kind of getting used to figuring out how StreamYard works. This is only the second time I've used it, and we got a bunch of notifications that say there's something wrong on Facebook's end, that we're not playing live on several of the feeds that I shared it with. The only place that we're actually showing up is, well, none of them are showing up. So I don't know what the heck's going on.
This really is Unplugged.
Yeah, for sure. So we're not live. I'm not sure why we're not live, but we're not live, according to what I'm seeing. Maybe on the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Camping Adventure page, we're live, but that's the only one that we're showing up on. The other groups in that we're not. So what I'll have to do is, once we're done doing this broadcast, is just share it.
It's showing.
Oh, is it on your page too?
Well, it's on the PA Bigfoot Camping Adventure page.
Okay, well, at least we're somewhere live.
we're somewhere live, and like you said, you know what? It's unplugged, and anything can go when it's live, and people can share it. So that's totally cool.
Yeah, we'll get it up on the other pages so people can watch it after we're done broadcasting live. But thank you for joining me tonight, Jay. We're here to talk about all things Bigfoot, all things Pennsylvania Bigfoot Camping Adventure, and just to have some fun and see where the road takes us.
I know. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. I think we've got a lot of ground to cover, and this is not going to be the first and only show that we do, but it's going to be, we're going to try to do like once a month until the event, which is coming up in September. So maybe we can work something out. We'll do it at the end of every month or something, just on a Friday or Saturday night for an hour, maybe bring on some guests.
Absolutely.
And have some of the speakers or special guests join us, or maybe some of the other organizers or whatnot. So, but before we get talking Bigfoot, let's talk a little bit about the event. Of course, that's why we're here. We want to plug it, and want to say hello to Zookeeper, who just joined us in the chat room. And I know there's some other people watching us, or will be watching us. And then once we get the bugs fixed and out of this,
it's unplugged, man. It's unplugged.
Yeah. And if you remember when I did Beyond the Edge Radio for all those years, every Sunday night we had technical problems. So
always. Man, I missed that show. When are you going to bring it back?
I'm not.
Hey, I just thought I would ask. Just because.
Yeah, simple, short answer, I'm not.
No, I hear you.
I've had a lot of people request that I bring it back, and I've kicked it around and talked with Marie, and we've done a couple of reunion shows and, one-off shows and stuff, and that was fun, but it's a lot of work, and I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
The broadcast would be Sunday night, and I'd spend the next 3 days editing sound and then booking a guest for the weekend, promoting it. So it was another full-time job. And
I was gonna say, not only that, but you being a host, because people have asked me, why don't I start my own podcast with Hunting the Truth or something? And I'm like, you know what, when you're gonna have a guest on and they have a book and you want to get that book, at least you want to brush up on it to understand it as the host, to be able to talk or anything, or a film or anything. So that's even more work, prior to the interview. So I agree with you.
Yeah, exactly. It's been kind of it's been a 12-year joy. I really enjoyed doing it. And I had some great co-hosts over the years. Sean Porker and I co-founded it together. Had a great run. Had Joe Biello on, James Baker on, doing the Bake Shop. We had
the Bake Shop.
Yeah, we had Lon Strickler on for several years as a co-host, and he did a great job. And then Marie joined us, and she was on for about 4 years, and she did a great job. and like I said, I had a blast. I talked to so many people and made so many great connections, had so much fun, but it is a second job, and
Yeah, that's a lot
it's
of
a lot of,
work.
yeah, exactly. So, but at any rate, welcome, and thanks everybody for tuning in. Let's talk a little bit about the upcoming Pennsylvania Bigfoot Camping Adventure, shall we?
Let's shall.
All right. So this is our fourth upcoming event. It's going to take place. That's why you see the Bigfoot with the four. That's what
Yep,
it's the
that's
fourth.
right. That's
That's
right.
right. So
And look,
um,
and I noticed that you're wearing our shirts.
yeah, I have the classic
You got
Pennsylvania
the
Bigfoot
classic.
Camping Adventure.
I've
You've
got
got
the second.
the
This is the
second.
second year, and this was actually the phrase that we did was Mr. Brian Parsons,
Yep.
because it's intense. But get it, intense
Yeah.
for the camping.
And people like the shirts. That we did pretty well with selling them. Unfortunately, it's a little more of an expense than we want, being that we're a non-profit charity fundraiser.
Right.
So I don't think we're going to have shirts this year. That's still up in the air. But if we do, I'm sure the guy who created the logos of the designs for the last two shirts would be kind enough to create a design for the shirt if we do it again.
Absolutely. If it comes about, I've always said that's what I love doing the graphics for the event, because my passion, and I go out and love to hike, and love all things Bigfoot, but to design them, it's awesome. I mean, even the promos and everything, I dig it. I love it. I love doing it.
Yeah.
I hope others like it too.
Oh yeah, I get a lot of compliments, and I always give credit to the person who does it, because without you, we wouldn't have the promos and we wouldn't be able to spread the word. So, big tip of the hat to you, Jay.
Well,
And
thank you. I
people,
appreciate it. I'm there. I'm there.
yeah, people love it. And for those who don't know, Jay is one of the organizers of the event, and he is also our marketing director slash tech guru slash media relations, whatever you want to call him. He's a jack of all trades, and he does all the logos, the designs, the videos. I'm technically impaired, so I can't do that stuff. So Jay is graciously the last.
I don't know. There's been a few videos that you put out that I thought were pretty good, pretty well done. So good job. A
Yeah,
tip of the hair to you.
those were done with apps that allow you to make stuff easily. Just
Oh, okay.
plug and play. So it wasn't me. Anyhow, yeah, this is our fourth upcoming event. September. It's only 2 days this year. September 6th and September 7th. And a lot of people have asked me, why aren't we doing a 3-day event? Well, first off, cost. To do a 3-day event, it was extremely expensive. And by cutting back, we're able to give more to the charities than put more into a 3-day event. And when Sunday rolled around, truth be told, we had lost a pretty significant amount of the crowd.
Yeah.
Most people are heading home. They have to get back to work on Monday, or kids back to school, or whatever the case may be. So we would lose a lot of people on Sunday. Plus, our speakers had to return to work and back to their lives and whatnot. So we decided Friday and Saturday. People are going to take the day off Friday. Some are coming in on Thursday, but yeah, we'll have some people there Thursday setting up, getting ready. Friday will be the event. Kickoff at 2 p.m. We'll open the registration probably around 1 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. People will show up to start registering. The event speakers will begin at 2, run until 8 o'clock that night. And then after the speakers and a workshop on Friday, there's several fun activities for folks to do. We're going to have a showing of your second documentary film, Finding J2. We're going to have Sasquatch Scarioke by Dave Bruce. He's going to be spinning the tunes while you sing the Sasquatch croons.
Yep. Cool.
And we're going to have the night hikes on Friday night. 2 sessions from 8 to 9:30 and then 10 to 11:30. And they'll be taking place outside of the campgrounds.
Oh, I can't wait. I've gone to
Yeah,
every one of those night hikes.
We've had some fun on the last couple of night hikes we've done. A lot of people wanted them back this year, so we brought them back.
Yeah.
Saturday, pretty much a repeat of Friday, except a little longer in duration. We're going to open the registration table at 9, so people can come to the campground at 9, start registering. I'm not sure if we're going to have tickets at the door yet or not. We probably will, but we haven't decided. But 10 o'clock, the event will start with our first speaker, and it'll run until 8 o'clock again with speakers and workshops throughout the day. And then for those who don't want to go night hiking, there's the Finding Jay Part 2 documentary done by Jay Bachochin. And Sasquatch Karaoke will be taking place over at the campground office just outside on the little patio there. So you can sing and croon and dance or shake your Bigfoot behinds all night long. And we'll have Saturday night's night hikes from 8 until 11. So there's a lot of stuff for folks to do. And we've got 8 great guest speakers coming in, actually 10 guest speakers, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
And I have my phone here, so I don't leave anybody out. So I'm going to cheat.
I know. That's the best part. You got to call it out. That's, we all have these. These are like our teleprompters.
Yes. So I'm going to set my teleprompter up here. Returning from the last 3 events that we've had is none other than Jay Bachochin.
So honored that you're asking me again too.
Oh, you're a mainstay, so get used to it. You're stuck, buddy.
Thanks.
Coming back again for his 3rd event is Dave Spinks from West Virginia. Legend in the UFO field, Bigfoot research field, 64 years of investigations. Stan Gordon is going to be coming back for his 4th event. Dr. Brian Parsons will be joining us for his 4th event. And we're excited to see Brian. It's been a while since we've seen Brian. We're glad he's going to be back. The squash detective Steve Calls will be returning from New York, joining us again for his 3rd event. Ron Murphy, my good friend and a lecturer, investigator, researcher, historian. Ron Murphy will be back again for his 3rd event. Rick Fisher's coming back from Eastern Pennsylvania. Is going to be talking about the Albert Witch, the Pennsylvania's mini version of the Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. And last but not least, we have a new addition this year, Kenny Biddle. He is a skeptic, works for SciCon, or what is it, Center for Skeptical Inquiry, CSI, I think it is, or something to that effect. But anyways, Kenny is a well-known skeptic, author, researcher, investigator, and it'll be good to have Kenny joining us. He'll give us his perspective on the Bigfoot phenomenon. And people ask, well, if you're a Bigfoot researcher and you have people speaking on the subject, why are you having a skeptic? Well, because we want to try to offer everybody a well-rounded look at the subject matter from both the perspective of those who investigate and are more a believer, and those who are investigating more of a skeptic. So everybody gets a well-rounded education on the subject matter. So those are our...
That's a great lineup, though. I mean, just everybody has something to give.
Exactly. Everybody brings something to the table.
I mean, even Kenny Biddle does.
Yeah, absolutely.
How you doing, Kenny? How you doing, Mr. Biddle? Yeah. No, I guess what I mean by that is you got to look at all sides, and I think just with his I don't want to say devil's advocate type thing, because that's not really what he does, but it still gives it a well-rounded for the guest speakers.
Yeah, and he adds some critical thinking and some reasons why he believes that Bigfoot doesn't exist, or he feels that Bigfoot doesn't exist. So it's going to be great to have Kenny with us. We're going to have 2 workshops, one on Friday, one on Saturday. Mr. Brian Bowden will be joining us on Friday to do his presentation. Saturday, Dave Wickham from Ohio will be joining us, and he has a presentation on how to make Sasquatch footprints, castings, if you will. And for those who want to get into the field, this is a great opportunity to learn how to do it and do it correctly. Dave is part of the BFRO. He organizes his own event, or has organized an event in Ohio called the Sasquatch Triangle Conference, which was pretty cool. So we're excited to have a couple of workshops that are going to be presented. Let's throw a quick shout out to Monkey Vimes.
I'm getting some, why I'm looking down is I'm getting some people like Mike Ann and some other people saying that the link isn't working, but yet we see people on there. So is that YouTube that it's coming off of?
It's actually coming through the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Camping Adventure Facebook page.
Okay.
I believe.
I'm actually on YouTube. I'm gonna check it out again. This is live. You keep going. This is
Yeah.
Unplugged.
So I'm going to try something here. Keep them entertained for just a minute, Jay. If you wouldn't mind showing some of your favorite
Okay.
memories and whatnot. And I'm going to go through this real quick and remove all these links and try to get them re-added. So go ahead and do that for me real quick, and then we'll get these all re-added back on.
You betcha. We're actually on YouTube.
Is it on YouTube?
Yep. So
Okay.
I think that's the link that we need.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, let me go in here and remove all the other links, and then we'll get them re-added, and then people can at least,
Yep. And the only reason why I can tell is look, Zookeeper just said we're not live on YouTube. Or not live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm actually going to reply to a few of these people. Bear with me. And sorry, I know this is live. Okay, let's see. All right. So I'll have to update my page too, but while you're updating yours, I'll talk.
Yeah, just keep us entertained for just a few moments while I try to get everybody back on here. Like I said, this is kind of crazy. I don't know why it's doing.
Yeah,
what
but
it's
you know
doing.
what? This is live. This is what we were trying to do. Well, let's start off. This is Rockin' JB 106.7 FM, The Mix. And next up, we've got the 2024 Pennsylvania Bigfoot Camping Adventure. Yep, they're on Facebook. There's Tactical. I just sent him. I sent him the link through Messenger. So we need to update those. You know, if you want to do that. Geez, when was it? Because I've known Eric since what, 2010, somewhere around there.
It's been a long while.
But he was doing Beyond the Edge radio, and I would listen to it because I was listening to Dave Schrader's what was that called?
Darkness Radio
with Tim Dennis. Yep. And Eric always came on Friday. It was Monster Friday. I remember that. And I always was kind of, I don't want to say transitioning in between ghost hunting and cryptids or anything like that, but I always looked forward to Eric's report. So we were friends for a while before I finally got to meet him in person at the first camping adventure in 2016. And it was definitely a treat. I stayed in the barn.
Oh my goodness, yes.
You're talking about punishment, but you know, I wanted to go there, and I'm not knocking vendors or anything for these because they're like what, little 12 by 12 little I don't want to say sheds, but they kind of reminded me of that.
But
it
was barns.
Yeah, but I was in the campground, and we didn't me and my brother-in-law Kevin didn't bring tents down, and we didn't have any cabins rented, so I wanted to stay on the grounds. So we stayed in what was called the barn. And no, I mean, everything about meeting the new people. This was even before my first documentary, because I was just going out. I mean, I was going there as a guest just to go and learn, because I always wanted to learn as much as I could. But that's where I made so many connections with everybody that I call friends now. Steve Coles, Brian Parsons, Jimmy and Dee Dee Trick, Kenny Biddle, Mike Ann. The list goes on and on. Sorry if I'm not mentioning to anybody, but it brought everybody close. And I think that's what it was, because again, the first year I was going as a guest, not as a participant or anything like that with speaking, but it was just I just remember it was really a magical weekend that first time. That's why I always tell people that haven't been there yet to get out there, because you will meet a lot of people, make a lot of connections, learn a lot, but have fun. And that was the best part. I look forward to this. I mean, this is awesome. You know, we've been talking about this almost a year, haven't we? Since coming up to this, the fourth one.
Yep.
And you know, I'm excited. I can't wait. There's my puppy. You hear Rhea barking in the background. This is live. It's unplugged.
Yep.
But it was it's hard to explain unless you're there and you've never been there before, because it was that first time, but it also made the second and third one just as nice. And being asked to come and speak in the second camping adventure, and then the third, and then I had by the third I had my first film out. And yeah, it's setting up and meeting people, seeing the people that I keep in contact, like on Facebook and Messenger, and not seeing them for years, but I feel like we've have a close relationship. And so we get there just to see everybody again. Just when's the last time I saw you? Was it I was gonna say it wasn't the third.
No, it was actually you came down in the summer for one of our
Oh
former
yeah.
organizers' funeral. Dave Dragazin, who was a longtime member of the event and speaker and organizer and dear friend, passed
Mhm.
away, and we kind of got together in his memory, a bunch of us from the event. And so unfortunately, Dave will not be at any future events with us. We'll miss him dearly, but he'll still be part of the event. He'll always be part of the event. And
Always.
yeah, and always a part of our hearts. But yeah, you're right. This was the first one I did, and the reason I've done this, people may not know my background. I've been hosting Bigfoot events, conferences in Pennsylvania dating back to 1999. I did something called the East Coast Bigfoot Conference, and it was held at a little restaurant in Jeanette, Pennsylvania, called Pitzer's, and we'd hold it once a year and bring in speakers and have a couple vendor tables and stuff like that. And I stopped doing it in 2011. And then I started brainstorming with a few people, thinking there's so many people that reach out to me and say, how can I do Bigfoot research? I want to get involved. I want to learn. So we thought, why not put together an event where families can come, people who are interested in the subject can come, hear from lecturers, speakers, get their hands dirty, if you will, with workshops, go out in the woods with us and hike and learn how to do Bigfoot research. And all the while, why not raise money for a couple local charities?
Yeah, and I
So,
think that's actually one of the coolest things, because there's not a lot of charity events like that out there. I mean,
right.
it's the push up, and I'm not knocking any other event, but I think that's what makes this one even more special. I mean, it's not like you're doing it to get greedy, to get money, to I mean, you're doing this for an event and to connect with people,
Yeah,
and to teach people,
right.
and to go hiking in the Chestnut Ridge. That's all that for a charity. I think that's awesome. It's great.
Yeah, so we did the first one. I think we had about 300 people show up for the first
Hmm.
event. We didn't put a lot of effort into publicizing or advertising or getting the word
Right.
out. We just wanted to put the event on and see how well it would be accepted, and it was accepted pretty well. 300 people for a one-day event was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, and then the second year we had it, we had actually the first year we had it, you attended. Our special guest that year was Trapper John Tice from the TV show Mountain Monsters.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he came in and attended the event. We had a great time with him, and he drew a lot of people. The kids loved him, just absolutely adored him. He
What do you
spent a
mean?
lot of
I loved them, but then I
yeah,
guess I'm a big kid.
yeah. Everybody had a good time who met him. Everybody
Yeah.
enjoyed the speakers, and I was urged to do a second event, which reluctantly I agreed to. So we did the 2017 event, and that grew. We almost doubled in size. We had a little more advertising, a little more people involved. You got
Hmm.
involved and helped us really push the event out there through social media and getting the word out. And we doubled in size. We brought the Ames team in as our special guest that year,
Yeah.
minus Trapper and minus Buck. We had Huckleberry, Jeff, Willie, and Wild Bill. We had live music. We had vendors, speakers. We had a cookout, which we cooked the food ourselves for everybody attended. That was a total nightmare.
I remember that.
We had a line
That's right. You
from
guys had the hot dogs, wasn't it? That you
yeah,
were
hot
like
dogs and
grilling.
hamburgers and a line that went way down the end of the road out to the front of the field. But we learned our lesson. that we should not cook.
No. You know what? You should see some of the people that are joining there. You got Mike Ann,
Yeah, a lot
Tactical
of people.
Bigfoot. He saw his first orb with me and Eric. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
There's Dave Bruce.
Hey, Dave.
Dave. And then Michelle Diener and her husband, I forget his name. Just joking. They're listening.
She's
like,
gonna ask for a refund now.
It's gonna be like,
At
no,
any rate,
sorry,
that's okay.
They're on a date night. Sorry.
There you go. But hello to everybody who joined us. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Sorry, we got off to a little bit of a late start. Maybe we can hang out a little bit longer than just an hour tonight. But in 2017, we had the second event. I decided to take a year off and kind of restructure, reorganize everything that I've learned from the first two events. 2019 came, and my goodness, Jay, we blew the roof off of Bender's Meadow Run campgrounds.
Oh, I know. Did they tell us to like quiet down like at 9:00? Just joking. They were saying raise the roof.
Yep. We had the Mountain Monsters full team there, with the exception of Trapper. We had Cliff Barrickman, Jeff Meldrum, Ken Gerhard as our special guests. You were there. Brian Parsons was there. Ron Murphy, Stan Gordon. There were so many great speakers, and it was a huge turnout. We had live music. We had vendors. We brought in food trucks. It was just, everybody had a great time. That's all I heard was great compliments and feedback.
Yeah.
At that point in time, I decided I'm going to take another year off, because it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work and busting your butt, getting everything organized.
100%.
Yeah. So I took a year off, and then COVID hit, and that killed everything. I planned on bringing it back in 2023. Unfortunately, there was new owners at Benner's that their management team were very difficult to work with, and we just decided to pull the plug on it and cancel 2023. Another set of owners came in 2024, bought Benner's, and reached out to me and sent me a message one day on Facebook saying, hey, we would like to have you come in and do a Bigfoot event. And I didn't know who it was. It was just a woman contacting me. And I was like, I don't know. I'm a little leery about doing events, but it turned out it was Benner's, and they had new owners and a new management team.
Mm-hmm.
So in August, we sat down with the new owners, Brett, and his management team, Tammy, and I believe Dave, I think his name was. But at any rate, we sat down with them, went over all our concerns. We talked with them about this is a really big event, be prepared for it, and they were excited. They really wanted to do this, so reluctantly I agreed. And here we are, about 5 months away from the upcoming 2024 Pennsylvania Bigfoot Camping Adventure, our fourth one.
Our number 4. Hey, I'm just letting you know, Michelle and David, the ones that are coming, they were on date night. Apparently, they're driving down Bray Road at the moment.
And watching us as they drive.
And yeah, I'm sure they're watching us. I don't know. I'm sure David's driving, but you know what? I just got to say, just be careful out there, because it does exist out there. Just saying. Yep. And it's a great date night. I've been watching them on social media, but they're really excited. They're actually really dear friends to me, and they go hiking with me quite a bit, and they help out quite a bit. As a matter of fact, not just changing the subject here, but David is the one where when I was recording with the body cam with the whatever that was in the background. So, but they're excited. They got their tickets. They're coming down.
Awesome.
Now, hopefully it wasn't just for me, because it is a great event.
I'm confident they will have a great time, and not just hanging out with you, but that's a cherry on top. But they're going to have a great time hanging out with everybody, getting to meet new people, hearing some great lectures, meeting our special guests, which I didn't mention. We have 4 amazing special guests coming in this year, making their return to the camping adventure from the Ames team and the TV show Mountain Monsters. Jeff Headley and William McQuillan will be joining us. Jeff and Willie, love those guys.
Jeff and Willie.
They will be there Friday and Saturday, signing autographs, shaking hands, taking pictures, kissing babies, and telling Bigfoot stories. So Jeff and Willie will be back, coming back again from the great state of Texas, San Antonio to be exact. My good friend Ken Gerhard. You've seen him on The Proof is Out There. You've seen him on Missing in Alaska. So many TV shows. Legend Hunters. He was on a Bigfoot episode of Legend Hunters. Well versed, probably one of the most intelligent and knowledgeable people on the field of cryptozoology that I know.
He's good, wealth of knowledge.
Yes, and he's going to be coming back, and he's going to be meeting people, have his books for sale. He's going to be lecturing. He wanted to speak at the 2019 event, and we had him there just to meet and greet, but he's going to be talking this year, so can't wait to hear what he's going to have to say. And new to the event this year, we're bringing in from Massachusetts. He is one of the three co-stars of the TV show Expedition Bigfoot, Mr. Ronnie LeBlanc. And Ronnie and I have been friends for a while. He hit us up actually when he found out about the event and asked if he could be a part of it. So
I'm excited to meet Ronnie.
Yeah. Ronnie and I have known each other for a while. We've talked on the phone. He's excited to be there and meet everybody and sign autographs and talk Bigfoot and UFOs and all that great stuff. So a great guest panel set up there for the event. Jeff, Willie, Ken, and Ronnie will be there. As I mentioned in the two workshops, we've got Dave Wickham and Brian Bowden going to be there. We've got, right now, as it stands, believe this or not, including with the speakers, vendors, we've got over 50 vendor tents, 50 vendor spaces.
Isn't that crazy?
Yep. A lot of people interested in taking part, so we're going to have not very much room this year.
I know. Where are we going to dance? Around the fire?
Yeah, we'll have to build a bonfire behind the pavilion and shake our boogies.
That's awesome. Such a good lineup.
Yeah, and this year we're doing a DJ. Dave Bruce is bringing in Sasquatch Karaoke DJ entertainment. He's going to be playing the tunes and providing us with the PA system at the event this year and playing songs between speakers. And then the karaoke is going to take place Friday night and Saturday night from 8 until 11. So if you don't want to go on a Bigfoot hike and you've seen Jay's second movie, there's always that option. You can go over and hang out and sing karaoke.
Where am I going to be at that time? Am I hiking? Am I going to be showing my documentary, or am I going to be singing with my lovely voice? Not, by the way.
Whatever you want. Whatever your little heart desires.
Yeah, I'll stay away from the karaoke. I'll just stick with the DJs.
Oh, there you go. And food trucks. We've got 5 food trucks this year. And let me pull up the food truck page because I'll forget. These, I've had people reach out to me about the menus and stuff and what to have. And just to pull this up and read you some of our food trucks, because, gosh, it just blows me away that the menu that they're going to have, the availability of different types of foods. So let me pull this up here. Okay, the first food truck we're having, Tony's Fry Shack. Remember Tony's Fry Shack from 2019? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, good food. She's coming back. Then we have
food.
Yeah. We have Hunt Chef Meat Wagon. It's a barbecue, ribs, steak, fajitas, all that meat. I love meat.
Yeah. Well, I haven't eaten yet, you know. It's later for you. Now you're just getting me hungry.
I am.
Do they deliver? Do they do DoorDash?
They might, but it'd be a little bit of a while because they're in here in southwestern Pennsylvania.
All right.
Yeah. Up next, we have Firehouse Subs. They do all kinds of subs. Excuse me. Ooh, sorry.
It's live. It's unplugged.
It's live and unplugged.
Hold on. Here you go.
Sneezing on the air.
There you go.
Thank you. Wait.
Pull one.
Okay. Good. Firehouse Subs will be there, and they have some great food available, all kinds of different types of subs. So if you're a sub person, they will have all kinds of subs on hand. New place that just popped up this year that my sister recommended is a company called Hot Dogs, and that's spelled HAWT Dogs.
Oh.
And they've got gourmet hot dogs like you would not believe. Oh my gosh. It's going to be amazing. And then last but not least, we've got the Wild Canyon Artisan Foods. And what they are is they're wild stuffed waffles on a stick. And they've got everything from pizza waffles, barbecue chicken waffles, buffalo chicken waffles, jalapeno popper stuffed waffles. They've got sweet waffles. They've got all kinds of really good stuff. So there's a huge variety of food this year. 5 food trucks and tents, and everybody's going to be mad at me because they're all going to gain 10 pounds over the weekend.
I know, right? Well, I'll just be like, that guy in a little coat.
And he'll be chasing Bigfoot.
I know, right? Oh, yeah.
Hell with it.
I
Just
know.
go.
just give me one of those gourmet hot dogs. Yeah, I was seeing some people were saying, somebody had a question on here. Mallory was saying, looking forward to the event. And are the night hikes all booked up?
No, that's one thing I wanted to mention. Since I've done with the food trucks, we do have
perfect
plenty of space available Friday night for the Group A and Group B, and Saturday night for the Group A and Group B night hikes. They're starting to fill up very quickly, but we do have space available. So if you bought your tickets, then you need to email us at pabigfootcampingadventure@gmail.com. Drop me a line. Let me know your name and the party that's with you so I can put you on the schedule for which hike that you want. And there's 4 to choose from. Each person will get the opportunity to go on at least one hike. And if we have room on the other hikes, then we'll let you know and we can add if necessary. But
you don't want to miss these hikes.
Yeah.
I mean, to be in the Chestnut Ridge is,
Let's talk a little bit about the hike, shall we?
Yes, let's shall.
I saw a good friend, Mike Ann, who had to leave. He had an encounter when he was out there in the woods with you and with me on night hikes. He had attended 2 of the previous events, and he had seen what he claimed was a red light floating around through the trees. He calls it an orb. Other people have seen it too. And I know he had an experience with you, Jay.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I was always thinking about, I've evolved so much from starting to do this right in the beginning of just, Bigfoot, just flesh and blood primate we haven't caught up with yet. I don't know what's going on with the woods because, with me and Mike Ann talking about that red, what he calls orb, only because it's circular. I'm also experiencing up here in Wisconsin too. It's almost like I always keep saying, is there a connection between Bigfoot and these lights, or, are we mistaken for, I don't want to say eye shine, but eye glow? Because what this was, I remember we were walking on that gravel road, back to our vehicles, and it's dark. I mean, pitch dark. And I think we were the ones, at the end, and it just felt like something was like right behind us that we heard. And that was honestly, that was kind of hair raising. And I always say that because, we're men, right? We're manly men. We're going to go out and hike in the dark, but yet there are so many things that just can spook you. But letting the people know the night hikes, you'll be going out with very experienced hikers that know the area, and you are in a group. We're talking about like we break away from the group at the end, everybody's leaving and everything like that. And that's when we kind of were trailing behind. That was at the end of a night hike. And who knows? Sometimes it happens around groups. You never know. It's hard to pinpoint.
Yeah. We don't guarantee anything's going to happen, obviously, because we don't know. It's always a crapshoot, and it's always a crapshoot no matter when you go out in the woods.
Right.
95% of the time, nothing happens. It's just a very enjoyable night out in nature. You hear some owls, some crickets, some maybe a coyote in the distance. But once in a great while, you'll have something strange happen. And the area that we're taking people, we've had things happen on these hikes. Footprints have been found. Ricky Chirby had a sighting, the area that we're going to. Other people have had experiences from sounds, howls, and calls.
What about the one that I heard?
Yeah.
Just shortly after, that was to the 2019, wasn't it?
Yep. Yours was at the cabin you stayed in.
Yeah, no, it was the cabin. Now, I'm curious, how far was the cabin from where we were on doing our group hikes on that road? I mean, how far away was the cabin, would you say?
As the crow flies, maybe 2.5, 3 miles.
Okay, 2.5 or 3 miles. But I remember leaving that night hike to go to the cabin, and remember how isolated that was.
Yeah.
And that's when my son was he went to sleep early. I forget how late it was. It was about 2 a.m.
Yep, it was
And
pretty
I
early.
came out on the deck and it was pitch dark. And I heard almost what we were doing to try to make calls out there. And I wasn't fast enough with my iPhone to capture it, but there, by the Google Maps on there, I didn't see anything else around this cabin for a mile or so. Am I right? And
Yeah, there's nothing out there.
it was isolated, meaning, like you said, as the crow flies, uh, that's nothing. I mean, they're there. That's my honest opinion, is they are there. And what an exciting thing to do is go out and be able to go to night hike and just, be with like-minded people and, see what could happen. Again, like you were saying, Eric, is that you can't predict it. I always tell people, if they go with me out here in the kettle, that, hey, this is not David Letterman's stupid pet tricks. I can't go out there and magically something happens, you know?
Yeah.
So
We got to say hi to our good friend, Jimmy Trick. He dropped by to say hello this evening. Actually, he said earlier, he's Charlie Wanton. He said,
was
hi,
he in there?
boys. Yep.
Oh,
So hi to Jimmy and Dee Dee. They'll be at the event as vendors. They're going to have the
Goosebumps Paranormal.
Yep. And then one of our organizers is also in the room. A couple of our organizers are in the room watching the show tonight. Jake and Leslie and my mind just went blank. Don't you hate that?
Yes.
Live and Unplugged. I apologize, but yeah,
Unplugged.
they're organizers of the event and co-organizers. And Jake, their youngest son, he's been coming to the event, all four of them, and it looks like he's getting a FLIR for his birthday for the hike. So that's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
And we had some other people drop by and say hello. So we want to say hello to everybody who joined us and who found us after we got the glitch worked out. Amanda, thank you, man. I'm sorry, dear. My mind's just going 3,000 miles in every direction tonight, trying to keep up with this.
Me too. And it's funny, like you said, it's like it, but there's something blocking from being able to say it.
It's called multitasking, and I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
I'm horrible. But anyways, back to the ridge.
Yes.
The area where you stayed at, it's in Fayette County, about 3 miles from the campground. Yeah. And where the hikes have taken place, where we do the event, there's been sightings. I've had experiences on the campground itself. When we were exploring, myself, Sean Dennis, Ricky Chirby, we were out there hiking the woods, trying to find trails to take people for night hikes. We heard wood knocks. The area that we're taking people on the night hikes, we've taken in the past, and they've had experiences. There have been sightings in that area. I know of at least maybe half a dozen have taken place in the area where we're taking people for the night hikes. So it's a very active area. Not just at the campgrounds, not just at the hiking area, but that whole Fayette County. There's dozens and dozens. I have reports that date back to the 1930s of sightings, and they still come in. And I just got a report the weekend of Easter. A gentleman that lives on the northern end of the ridge, probably about 55, 60 miles to the north, had a Bigfoot sighting. So there's still activity going on the Chestnut Ridge.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I've always thought, what a better place for, if you are studying Bigfoot behavior, not that I would know, because I'm just Jay, I'm not an Outback Jack, but about the behavior of them being curious.
Mm-hmm.
And what a better place to just kind of sit and watch, I guess, is when there's a large group of people just kind of focused in the campground. The people are just focused on themselves and what's going on there, not really seeing what's going on in the surrounding, the wood line that goes around the camp. And so, like you were just saying, that you and Ricky heard the wood knocks. I mean, why not? It's perfect place.
And at the 2019 event, Stan Gordon had let me know. Now, I just saw the pictures. I did not see the actual track, but somebody found some tree breaks pretty high up and what they believe to be a footprint just inside the campground, maybe couple hundred yards from where we hold the event.
Right.
And I can't say it was a Bigfoot. I can't say if somebody was pranking us. I don't know. But something stirred up people to go looking, and they found a possible footprint and some tree breaks, and I saw the pictures. So who knows what could happen out there? Anything's possible.
Yeah. Well,
that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, that's the way I always look at it is, you're out there. I mean, honestly, if you were a paranormal investigator and you're in an old house doing this and you hear, a crack at, a creek at 3 a.m., automatically it's a ghost. Same thing out in the woods, you hear a break because we're like-minded about Bigfoot. It's, it has to be a Bigfoot cracking. You know what I mean? Like breaking branches and everything. And it's like, yeah, well, nobody knows 100% for sure. It's the way I look at it. When people send me photos or breaks or anything like that, it's really hard to say.
Right. Exactly. My sister actually, looks like my sister joined us in the chat room tonight or was listening. PA Storm Trackers said, "Hey guys." So I want to shout out to Connie and Chris Brinker.
Connie Chris.
We're down in West Virginia chasing tornadoes yesterday.
Sounds like my buddy Chris. They just get up and go. I don't know how they do it. I watch all the tornadoes footage on TikTok.
Yeah.
I just go through it and I'm like, hey, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then Mallory posted this comment about a documentary on Tubi on Bigfoot on the Chestnut Ridge that actually has a lot of the people involved in the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Camping Adventure in that documentary. My sister is going to be there at the event. She's going to have her own booth for Faye Was Paranormal. Stan Gordon, Ron Murphy, myself, Tom Mihawk, Ricky Chirby, Sean Forker, a lot of people you'll see in that documentary about the ridge, the Chestnut Ridge and Bigfoot on the Ridge. It's called Sasquatch on Earth, I believe. Yeah, that's a lot. You'll see a lot of us on that documentary, so it's worth checking out. And it'll give you a little flavor of what to expect when you come to the ridge.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot that goes on the ridge, and it's not just Bigfoot related. There's so many haunted locations, so many urban legends, UFOs in abundance. Stan Gordon, our go-to guy for UFO sightings, he gets reports on almost a weekly basis. But there's so much.
Do you get a lot of Dogman encounters up there?
I personally don't, and as far as I know, Stan hasn't. But there are people who research them.
Yeah,
so
100%. I was just curious about that.
Yeah,
because I know
it's happening, but
because I know there's been like UFOs and a lot of other things on the Chestnut Ridge.
Yeah, but Bigfoot's one of the staples of weird things going on up there. I know, well, because of my health issues this past year, 2024, I haven't been able to get to the ridge as much as I want. But Connie and Chris are up there all the time, almost every weekend. Tom Mihawk, I know Ricky Chirby's been out quite a bit. I was going out almost every weekend or every other weekend when I could. So there are people out there doing investigations and hitting the woods to do proactive research. So it is still a very active area, and I encourage anybody who has a fascination with the unknown, especially Bigfoot, that this is the place you want to check out. You want to get out there to the ridge.
Michelle was asking, what was it called when you said it? The Tubi.
It's called Sasquatch Unearthed, and here I'll put it in the comments.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I was like, wow, that's pretty good, Michelle. Saskatchewan on Earth. That's all right. Hey, typos happen. And this is unplugged, so it's cool. All right, there you go. Perfect.
There, it's called Sasquatch Unearthed, the Ridge.
Got it.
You can check it. It's on Tubi, and it's like 6 episodes, and it's some really fascinating and captivating things. So you can check that out. But what do you say we take a quick break, play a commercial? We come back and we talk more about the ridge, more about Bigfoot stuff, and we'll dip into a little bit of your neck of the woods, the Kettle Moraine out in Wisconsin, and you can give us an update as what's going on. So, folks, stick around. Jay and I will be back after this short break, and you are watching Pennsylvania Bigfoot Camping Adventure Unplugged. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we're back. Yeah, that was some commercials there that our good friend Jay Bachochin did.
Hey, it's fun doing. It was actually kind of cool watching them again, because I do them, send them out, post them on social media, and then you don't want to overkill it. And then they kind of go, it's been a while since I've seen the fire one. I like that one.
Yeah, that if people pay attention, there's a nice little Easter egg hidden in there. I noticed it the first time I saw it, but you really have to watch the video again. And it's on the right-hand side of the screen that just pops in for just a second and
Oh,
hurries up. It's
You,
gone.
you should play it again. That was cool.
How about we play it at the end of the show?
All right, at the end of the show.
Okay.
But it is. I'm glad you picked up on it right away.
I did. It's for the first time I saw it, I thought that was such a really cool little Easter egg thrown in the background there.
Sweet.
And, yeah, we'll play it again. But if people want to get tickets for the event, we encourage you to do so. Do it now, because we may not be selling tickets at the door. We don't know at this point. It's undecided. But we have less than 150 tickets available online, and they're going pretty fast. I think we've sold 15 tickets in the last 7 days. So they're starting to move out the door pretty quickly. So if you want to get your tickets, the banner at the bottom of the page, PA Bigfoot Camping Adventure.com. You go to that in your web browser, then you click on the tickets, and you can get tickets for Friday, which is $20 per person, under 12 free with a paid adult. Saturday for $30,
Worth it.
and 12 under 12 free with a paid ticket. Or both days, Friday and Saturday, you can hear all 8 speakers in 2 workshops for $50. And I think that's a really good deal.
A great deal, and it's also all going to charity. So it's kind of I think it's a win-win for everybody. You're helping out a good cause, and you're going down. You're learning. You're learning about Bigfoot. You're being educated by other researchers out there that are going to speak, some workshops. But I think the cool thing is the fun that you're just going to have of meeting new people, like-minded people. It's actually the best place I could go to, because when I was first starting to do this, I couldn't tell anybody about Bigfoot. If I said Bigfoot, that's a butt end of a joke. Go to the camping adventure, and it's like everybody's there for the same common goal. And so definitely
Absolutely.
worth it. Definitely worth it.
Yeah, and you mentioned charities. We're going to be sponsoring 2 charity organizations this year. One is called One Voice, One Community, and they're out of Fayette County. And that charity is going to be sending underprivileged children to summer camp. So the kids that have never had the opportunity to go to summer camp or get outdoors and experience the outdoors, now they're going to with our donation. And the other is Fayette Friends of Animals. It's the animal shelter in Fayette County. They've got wonderful dogs and cats available for adoption. They do a great job, and they'll be the other charity that will be donating proceeds of the event to. So
Awesome.
get your tickets now. PA Bigfoot Camping Adventure.com. Come join us September 6th and 7th at Benner's Meadow Run Campgrounds in Farmington, Pennsylvania. Now, as I mentioned before the break, we were talking about Bigfoot, and you've been doing some research for the past, 13 years now.
Yeah, actually, this would be my 11th year officially of Bigfoot related. Prior to that, might have been some Beast of Bray Road, Dogman, and then prior to that, more ghost hunting. But been doing this since 2007. So
A long time.
pretty long time. And honestly, my first love was always aliens and UFOs. But I was like, the government's got that monopolized, and so why even go look for it, because they're already there anyway. The Men in Black. Oh, I didn't say that out loud. Hopefully they don't show up at my house. But it's Bigfoot was never on my radar until ending up there in the kind of Moraine, and it has been. There's way too much to talk about, but I do have the 2 documentaries on Prime Video, Amazon Prime, and it's everything that I've put into these films are 100% fact. It's not sensationalized, and I hike with so many different people that even though I'm the X factor, I'm the one who's always out there. I'm out there with different people, and different things happen. In fact, Eric, you joined me a couple of years ago out there and experienced remember the eye shine
And the smell.
and the smell. Yeah. And
Yeah.
how do you, a lot of times people say, well, it's hard to explain it because it's not smell-o-vision. That'd be kind of cool if it was, but to describe it, but it was that it would kind of come and go and no wind. And it's one of those, hard to I want to say debunk because you're out in the woods,
Right.
it's uncontrolled and there could be dead, prey everywhere. You don't know it. It could be decomposing, but how does it kind of come and go and then get stronger and then leave you? And it's pretty wild. But so much has happened since then, actually, since both my documentaries. Because the first one, like you said, Finding Jay came out in 2019, and then Beyond the Kettle, Finding Jay 2 came out in 2022. But even though I put these documentaries together, I'm a one-man band. I do all the interviews and the editing and putting it together to be an educational documentary, not so much to showcase, hey, Bigfoot is real, and just because Jay's saying it, they got to be. No, don't. I always tell people, you're that interested in finding out if Bigfoot's real or not. Go out, discover for yourself. Go find your truth if Bigfoot's real. Actually, the camping adventure event is one of those places that come down to find your truth, get out there and do some night hiking and talk to other people. But I'll tell you that Chestnut Ridge is definitely different than the Kettle Moraine.
Well,
I
you've
mean,
had your experiences at the Chestnut Ridge too.
oh yeah. So I'm just saying I've had them in both places.
Hmm.
One of the bigger questions, even Mr. Kenny Biddle would say, is, but you've never seen the source that either left the print, made the call, had glowing red eyes, or and I, ever since Kenny and I were talking way back when, I always think about that when I am out. I never call it researching. I'm not a Bigfooter. I'm not a squatcher. I'm a hiker. I'm a truth seeker, and I go out to to, to to observe and to be with friends, and that's the journey of going out in nature. But there's a lot of truth to that, obviously, is because if you have an oversaturated place where people are bigfooting, they could be calling on the other side of the kettle,
Right.
and I would not know, it'd be a false positive. I would document that, and I would hear it, and I could kind of put it aside there. But now there was too much up there. Even though I've had a lot of experiences down in the Chestnut Ridge, I actually had an actual daytime sighting last a year ago, March,
Hmm.
daytime, where it was like undeniable. But again, it's secondhand. This is just me telling you. You could
Right.
take me for what I'm worth, but it's one of those things where it's like Brian Parsons would always talk about, like, once you say something, it's a lie in your mind, or you're believing what you saw. And he always sticks in my mind too. McLeod, you're in my head. Um, but but at the same time, it's one of those things that you just document, and it's finding your own truth. And that's what I've been doing up here in the kettle for the past 11 years. So, I've totally shifted from, what I used to be when I first started doing this. And in fact, when I first started doing this, I think I never called it Bigfoot or Sasquatch. I called it a wood beast because I thought it was kind of cool, like the Beast of Bray Road, the wood beast. And
Yeah, I've come up to Wisconsin and spent a weekend with you and your family and the
yeah,
beautiful family that you have, and you
thank
took
you.
me out the Bray Road and
Yeah,
drove me around, showed me the area, and my first reaction to Bray Road was like, um, this is farmland. This
yep,
is not like spooky, creepy. This is just fields and little small patches of woods.
yeah,
But the more and more I've looked into it and studied it and talked with you and some of the farmers out there, I've heard their story. Jay's what's his name?
Lee Hempel.
Lee Hempel. Thank you.
Yep.
His 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 property is just unbelievably bizarre, but it's
Yeah.
it didn't
There
disappoint me.
yeah, there's definitely, exactly. If you're going to go during the day, that's the exact reaction people get. You think of Bray Road, you think of the beast, you think of ominous. And you drive out there during the day, and it's private farmland. In fact, you can't even park your car off Bray and go traipse around to investigate, because it's all privately owned farmland from second, third generation farmers, and they all know each other. But it is a public road, so you can definitely patrol. And when you're going down it, like just like you were saying to Eric, I'm like, I'm sure you were excited. You were on Bray Road, and kind of like, But I'll tell you, at night, especially at Lee Hample's farm, which I am actually calling Skinwalker Ranch Part 2, there's just, and this is adjacent to Bray Road. And I mean, it's right there. In fact, his farm field would then back up to Bray Road. So I don't look at, the road itself, but it's the surrounding areas.
Right.
And that place, I mean, you are talking weird orbs. You could say UFO, maybe. I've had time loss there. I saw something which is really incredible. But like when you have ambient light, but it's dark. It's dark, and you can see it's still dark. But I saw something darker than the dark, dancing around or moving like the Tasmanian Devil cartoon. Just like, I don't want to say spinning because I couldn't see it, but it was just all jittery, and it was just out in the field. And I'm like, I'm blinking. I'm not looking through my flare or anything yet. And, but it has a very ominous area. This is all just up here in Wisconsin. So,
yeah. And then the second night we were out, we went to the Kettle Moraine, and we hiked back in just at dusk. And nothing smelled, nothing out of ordinary. It was just a really peaceful, quiet night. No wind, very calm. We hiked back so far in. We started going up a hill. We saw eye shine. I have no idea what that was, but
no, and it was high too. It wasn't like, again, you'd think a deer or something like that, but we weren't even shining our lights, were we?
No, it was like self-luminescent.
Yeah. So
which was odd.
Right. So I always say I glow at that point, because I don't remember the phase of the moon being so bright out there that it would cause eye shine. But yeah.
And then we encountered this weird smell, and it wasn't just a constant smell. It was periodic. It just it would show up real strong, and it would be around us, and we both would notice it, and then it would be gone. And it wasn't just at one location. We were walking along the trail, and we'd stop and smell it. And we're like, wow, do you smell that? Yeah, we agreed. And it was real strong, real pungent.
Right.
Like a dead animal, dead carcass kind of smell.
Yeah.
And then we'd continue to walk, and it would go away, and then it would come back. So yeah, I have no explanation for that. And I wish I lived closer than we do, but the Kettle Moraine is one of those places that I would love to spend more time in, to investigate and just to hit those woods. And folks, if you want to see what Jay is doing, and I kid you not, Jay is out there sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. Send a friend request to Jay. If he accepts it, you can follow him, or you have your own public page that you can give out too. And you can watch his videos and his testimonials and him in the woods, and everything he's doing, he documents. So kudos to you for that.
I appreciate it. And a lot of times people, actually, my wife will say this. She'll always be like, oh, don't let your head get any bigger. Don't let it get any bigger. And I said, when I first started doing this, I remember telling you before my first documentary, I liked flying below the radar. It kept me away from drama or heavy competition. And so I kind of liked the underdog, the flying below the radar, because I'm really trying to do this for myself. I'm not trying to prove to you or anybody watching my documentaries on Prime that Bigfoot is real. I am showing this is what's happening to me. Go out and find it for yourself. And I kind of like that, but this is just me. I'll continue to be this way. Always, always happy to do the memes and the videos and act crazy, and well, not act crazy, but funny.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Question from Joe Turry in the chat room. He wanted to know if we ever got weirded out by possible encounters. Um, I've had the hair on the back of my neck stand up and on my arms, and for a few seconds I was speechless. Um, Jake can attest to the encounter that we had in August of 2020 on the Chestnut Ridge, where I saw eye shine in a brush about 9 feet off the ground, and then the encounter we had afterwards was something, I don't know what it was, but I've had some experiences where I've been weirded out, not enough to chase me out of the woods or spook me out of the woods. Unfortunately for me, I want to go running after it.
Well,
which
you
is
know, it's funny. A lot of people will say that, and I don't want to say the couch researchers that, and I don't mean to make it sound that way because a lot of people can't. But it's basically when you're comfortable and you're watching it, your first notion is, I'll go run out and chase it. There's a totally different feeling if you're out there, and usually I hike with two, maybe four people tops. That's it, and you're vulnerable in the dark. You're just you're just a human walking out there that can be vulnerable to the predators. Especially in your area, Eric, what you have. But there was this one instance, Joe, that I was out with my friend Chris Tipton, and this was about 5 years ago. And we entered the kettle just after it stopped raining. So it wasn't raining anymore. It was dark, and you could hear all the rainfall coming off the leaves everywhere around 360 degrees around you. Just, just everywhere, just dripping. And it wasn't raining, but Chris goes, "Can I do a knock?" He asked me this because I really don't knock or yell. I don't. And I'm like, "Yeah." So we're up on one of the 300-foot kettles, and he goes, and I can't see him, but we're on about a 14, 15-foot wide path. So it's kind of wide at the top of the kettle. And he goes up and whap, whap. And of course, what you're supposed to do is be quiet, listen for a response of something. And it was already dark, but I closed my eyes. I don't know why. It just helped me concentrate to hear. And I'm hearing the rain around me, just coming all around me. And all of a sudden, right to my right, I heard what sounded like an impression, like a footfall. Um, and right after that, because I was kind of off to my right behind me, and then one more to my left, and it stopped. And Eric, I know exactly what you were talking about. I don't know if the hair was raised, but I was a petrified tree. I was a statue. I couldn't mention anything to Chris. I couldn't verbalize to Chris. I couldn't walk towards Chris. I couldn't move. I was like frozen in what seemed like an eternity. And I could tell by my audio unit, it was about a minute and 20 seconds. Somehow or another, I was able to break out of it, but I already had my thermal ready. And I walked right towards Chris, turned around immediately to look to see what was there instead of turning on the light, and there was nothing there. So it's one of those things that if it wasn't there, then is this all in my head? And if it was just in my head, how come I couldn't move? And I got really creeped out about that. Like you said, Eric, nothing's ever really kept you out of the woods. I think I went home that night and actually hung up my backpack for a month. I was done. I'm like, this thing was, if it was there, it could have just taken me, dragged me off into the, who knows? I mean, I had that primal fear. And I remember I had to I think I've talked to you and a bunch of other people. It was kind of therapeutic to kind of talk through it to get me back out there. And of course, a month and a half later, I'm back out there again. But that I was going to say it's hair raising, but I don't remember any hair standing up. I couldn't move, period.
Yeah. I had one experience that still blows my mind to this day. And I've had more than my share of experiences out there over the years. But this one still has me puzzled, and I still scratch my head about. I was up on the mountain, Chestnut Ridge, by the windmill factory, or windmill construction site.
I remember that. Yeah.
And
I wasn't there, but I know what state you're talking about.
this is actually a little different. This happened long after my initial experience there. That night I will never forget, because the sounds we heard, the wood knocks, it was witnessed by over 20 people in our research team that night we were at the windmill construction site. But this happened about 2, maybe 3 years ago in the summer. And Tom Mihawk, Ricky Chirby, and I went to a place just up the road from the windmill construction site. We find a little pull off, and I have a thermal FLIR. I have night vision, monocular and binoculars. We have parabolic mics set up, and we're out there doing wood knocks and calls, and nothing's responding except for dogs. There's a house about a mile down the road, and the dogs were barking back at us because we were out there making noise and trying to stir something up. But the incident that happened to me that really freaked me out, and still has me puzzled, and I just have no explanation for it, was we were standing by our vehicles, and I walked across the road with Ricky, and right across the road from where we were standing, there's a very deep ravine, heavily wooded ravine. There's no houses down in there for miles, and this is in the middle of the mountain. We're probably about 3/4 of a mile from the windmill construction site. And like I said, the closest house is down that road about a mile from us. So I know there's nobody in the woods. It's a very steep, dangerous ravine. It's dark. We could not see any flashlights. We didn't hear anybody moving around. So I said to Ricky, I said, I'm going to do a couple whoop calls and see if I get a response. So I do the typical primate sounding whoop call, the whoop, whoop. And I did it 3 times. And the 3rd time I finished, I stopped, and I got a response that sounded like a human being, not a Bigfoot, not a primate, but a human being in that ravine that simply answered back, whoop.
Wow.
And I took a couple steps back because I certainly didn't expect to hear a
Right.
male human voice just answer whoop. And I looked at Ricky and I dropped an F-bomb and I said, what in the F was that?
Yeah.
Did you effing hear that? And Ricky said, yes. And Tom was across the road at the vehicle, so he didn't hear it. But Ricky and I both heard it, plain as day.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an echo of me doing the whoop calls, because I was doing a high-pitched whoop call across the ravine and valley. It was just a male voice.
Right.
A human male voice, just whoop. It floored me. And to this day, I don't have an explanation for that.
Right. Is it the same way as when you go out there? You're out there, you are out there for your purpose. You're trying to find your truth, right? It's what we do when we go out there. But when something happens, then we question it. And I'm not saying it's not, you should, but there's got to be a balance of that instead of it one way or another. Because, a lot of people could say, well, there was just a dude down there, and he was just going to wait until you whooped a few times before he did something back.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't, and it truly was Sasquatch, Bigfoot out there. And again, like you said, how do you can't, at this point, you can't figure out one way or another. So where does that go? Does that go on the side of, I'm just hearing things, skeptics, or are they out there, and to keep searching for your truth?
Well, I'll be honest with you. If Ricky hadn't heard the sound that I heard, that whoop, I would have questioned it myself, thinking maybe power of suggestion. I wanted so badly to hear it. My mind was playing tricks on me, but Ricky heard it too.
Yeah.
And that has some credence to it. What it was, I have no idea.
And honestly, that's what we have to say, and that's what we have to do. I want to answer Joe really quick, because I know I was telling the story. He was saying, does that ever make second guess taking my kids out with me? He's not sure what he would do in my shoes. 100% with that. Now, when I was taking my kids out early, I mean, they're grown. I mean, Blake's little chum's already 16 and driving.
Wow.
And McKenna is going to be 13. So in my first film, they were yay little. But I was like, whenever I take my kids out there, I was don't want to say mother hen, but father rooster, Papa Bear, where they were always in sight and very close to me. I just did not want them to grow up without knowing nature. I mean, we're not out there at night, and we take them during the day. But just like you were saying there, Eric, I mean, you don't know what's out there, and life's always that way. But no, I think right now, I mean, my kids are my world, so it would devastate me. But I don't want to have them grow up in fear of nature or the woods, because it's beautiful out there. You got people hiking and biking and running, and people go out there just to, like John Muir, to meditate, become one with the woods. So the woods is definitely a place to be. So I just want to answer Joe that. So I didn't mean to.
No, that's fine.
Stop with your with yours, because yeah.
Well, we've got about, if you're willing to stick around for another 12 minutes, we can take it to the bottom of the hour and then call it a night. But yeah, this for those who just joined us or tuned in for a little bit, this is kind of something that Jay and I are going to do once a month up into the camping adventure. So probably for the next couple of months, we're going to get together and discuss the camping adventure and promote it, as well as talk Bigfoot, maybe have some guests from the camping adventure on.
Talk about what equipment to bring out.
Yeah, definitely. Because you got quite the load that you take out in the woods with you. But we're definitely going to promote and talk about our experiences, some of the equipment we use, talk all things Bigfoot, and we'll see where the road leads us. But I'm blind. You shot that laser in my eye.
Oh, that's good. Look at that. Yeah. Also makes a good dog toy too. Yep. Sorry, I'm just letting you talk, and I'm doing a show and tell.
But we have a lot more in store to come. Like I said, maybe some special guests. Maybe we'll bring on some of the other organizers. Maybe we'll talk more about our experiences. But we have a lot to come in the upcoming months. And but most importantly, we want to plug the event, because we want to get people out there aware of the event. We want them to come to the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Camping Adventure and see what we're all about, have a great time, learn something, help us raise money to donate to the charities. And just a quick recap, we'll do that real quick here. We've got 8 great guest speakers coming to the event. We've got Jay Bachochin, of course, who's my co-host tonight. We've got legendary UFO Bigfoot researcher Stan Gordon, Ron Murphy, Dave Spinks, Brian Parsons, Rick Fisher, Kenny Biddle. I know I'm forgetting somebody here. Help me out here, Jay.
I know. Actually, I was actually trying to cross-check you as you went, but I'm like, oh my God, I don't have my list. And
I got to pull the list up. Jay Bachochin, Dave Spinks, Stan Gordon, Brian Parsons, the Squatch Detective Steve Culls, Ron Murphy, Rick Fisher, and Kenny Biddle. That's our speaker lineup. Our special guests from the TV show Mountain Monsters. We've got the one and only Jeff Headley and William McQuillan. Willie and Jeff are going to be joining us for a meet and greet on both Friday and Saturday, taking pictures with the kids, kissing babies, shaking hands. They should be running for office.
Yeah, right. Great guys. I love those guys.
Yeah. Fun guys from West Virginia and from Ohio. They'll be joining us from the TV show Mountain Monsters. Our good friend Ken Gerhard will be coming back. He's coming up from San Antonio, Texas. Going to be talking at the event this year, talking cryptozoology. So I can't wait to see Ken again. You can see him weekly on the TV show The Proof is Out There on the History Channel. He's been on Missing in Alaska. He's been on so many TV shows, documentary films. It's hard to keep track with Ken. Got half a dozen books out there, writes, educates, just an all-around great guy, probably one of the most knowledgeable guys in the field of cryptozoology that I know.
Wealth of knowledge.
Yes.
And he's a fun, funny guy.
He is, and he's just an all-around great guy. And then our buddy Ronnie LeBlanc is going to be joining us this year from the TV show Expedition Bigfoot and Paranormal Captured on film. He's an author. He's written 2 books. He lectures all around the country, hosts his own events. He's coming in from Massachusetts to join us for the event. Looking forward to seeing Ronnie again and adding him to the event. And hopefully he'll be impressed that he'll want to come back and do it if we ever decide to do another event again.
Absolutely. Now, one thing we didn't brush over, the workshops, the two workshoppers,
Yep.
presenters.
Brian Bowden and Dave Wickham.
And
I know
what's each one doing? I know
Dave,
it, but
Dave is doing something on casting tracks. He's going to teach people how to cast footprints.
that's awesome.
Measure them, do all the scientific information you can and get out of them as much information as possible. I'll show you how to do that and make plastic castings of them. Brian, I believe, is going to be doing a Skywatch session. I'm not 100% sure, but Skywatching, and I'll have to catch up with him and see what his exact workshop is going to be on. But he told me when we first put this together, and it sounded pretty compelling, Skywatching and possible something Bigfoot related.
Oh, hey, that works for me. I'm good with it.
So Brian will be there, and we've got special guests. We've got food trucks, 5 food trucks, which I mentioned earlier. It's a variety of food. Over 50 vendors, including the guest speakers, will be there. So if you like arts and crafts, Bigfoot themed crafts, cryptid crafts, paranormal crafts, we're going to have over 50 tents set up. We're going to have a couple podcast shows that are going to be there as well.
That's cool.
Yeah. And
then we got DJ.
Yeah, Sasquatch Karaoke. And looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Dave's coming in to do some Sasquatch karaoke, play some tunes for us.
That's awesome.
Yep. So it's a very well-rounded event, and I would be remiss if I left out the night hikes, which are a big draw. Still plenty of space on both Friday and Saturday evenings if you bought a ticket.
Yeah, but those are going quick, aren't they? Once people know it, they're just going to keep emailing until it's full. So,
yep.
So I would say anybody that wants to go out, right? And I would get those tickets and then email Eric.
Yep, because there are limited spaces available for the Friday night hikes and the Saturday night hikes. Right. Once they're full, we can't put more people in them because we have some guidelines given to us by the Game Commission. So,
right.
So there you have it, folks. That's the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Camping Adventure for 2024, September 6th and 7th. Come out and meet Jay. Come out and meet me. Come out and hear all the great guest speakers. Meet the special guests. Shop. Eat some good food. Learn about Bigfoot. Go in the woods looking for them. And help us raise money for 2 great local charities.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great time. I'm getting more and more excited because we're getting closer now. I mean, I know you announced it almost a year ago. Well, not almost a year ago from this date, but a year from the date of the event.
Yeah.
And so September. Now it's just like, wow. I mean, we're already going to be mid-April, and then we're May, June, July, August, right there.
Yeah, we're about 4.5 months away.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, about 4.5 months. So we only have less than 150 online tickets available. And we're not sure yet if we're going to sell tickets at the door or not. We'll have to make that decision the closer we get, and provided we have enough space, because the tickets are selling very fast, and we want everybody to be able to participate. So if you haven't got the tickets yet, very simple to do. See the website at the bottom of the screen, PA-BigfootCampingAdventure.com. It's been scrolling the entire time, Jay.
I know. I'm joking.
PA-BigfootCampingAdventure.com. You go to the website, you click on the tickets link, which you'll see at the top of the web page.
Yeah.
And that'll open up the page where you can purchase your tickets. Again, tickets are Friday, Saturday, and then both days.
There it is.
You see it? PA-BigfootCampingAdventure.com.
I see it. I've got the eyes of an 18-year-old. No, I don't. I can see far up close. It's
maybe an 18-year-old back in 1875.
I know, right? Hey.
But
hey, Paul.
Yeah, you can get tickets $25 for Friday only, $30 for Saturday only, or $50 for both days. And children under the age of 12 will be free, providing an adult has purchased the ticket with that free admission. So come and join us September 6th and 7th of 2024 at Benner's Meadow Run Campgrounds in Farmington, Pennsylvania, and make sure it's Fayette County, so you don't end up in Butler County or way far north, Jay. Fayette County, Pennsylvania.
Lord, you don't understand the drive from Wisconsin to Pennsylvania that first year. And Kevin, if you're out there listening, he put it in his GPS and it took us to, where was it? It was Fayette, but it was up in Pittsburgh, wasn't it?
Yeah, way north.
And then we were there, and then we replugged in the information, and it was another 2.5 hour drive. Dear Lord, it was. But yes, don't do like Jay. Do like other people.
Yeah. Well, I got to throw this out there real quick because I've had questions about this. There are no more cabins available. Those are all sold out. However, there are plenty of campsites available, plenty of RV parking. If you have an RV or a camper that you want to hook up to water and utilities, there are plenty of those spaces. There are plenty, I believe there are yurts available, but you can find out all that information on the website, PA Bigfoot Camping Adventure, and go to accommodations. There are hotels within a 5-mile radius of the campground. There are many hotels within a 10-mile radius, and I'm talking Hilton, Super 8, Days Inn, some pretty nice hotels that are within driving distance.
And that's not a bad deal, because that means you have to drive to and from. And believe me, I'm always thinking of roadside crossings when I'm in Pennsylvania. Every time I'm driving, no matter where I have to go, my eyes are peeled. So I'm like, they're there. That's how I feel about it. So it's kind of like a bonus, you get to drive a little bit.
Yep. And when you leave the campgrounds, you're still in the mountains until you get to the bottom of the mountain. And once you get to the bottom of the mountain, then you run into the hotels. But there is a mom and pop campground. I think it's called Chalk Hill Hotel, I believe it's called, or something to that effect. But it's within 5 miles, and it's out in the wilderness. They have very nice rooms, very affordable, under $100 a night. So very clean rooms. Check that out. Plenty of accommodations available that you can get. They are not included with the tickets. The tickets and the accommodations are separate. So if you want to camp at the campgrounds, hang out with us, you can do that, but you have to contact Benner's Meadow Run Camping and Cabins to do that. And their website information is also on our website. So
see, there's nothing wrong with tenting, right, Brian?
See, it's intense.
It's intense. Get it? Tense and tense. It was a kill joke. Or
yes,
a joke
it was.
Kill. Hey.
All right. Well, I think that should be enough for us. We've gone for an hour and a half, despite a little glitch at the beginning. So we're going to wrap it up for tonight. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Jay, thank you for spending your hour and a half with me here tonight, plugging the event.
I would have it no other way. Thank you for having me a part of this great event. I'm just honored to be a part of it.
We're excited to have you back, and thank you for all that you've done for the event. We really appreciate it. Folks, PABigfootCampingAdventure.com. That's the website to get all the information about the upcoming event. And you can email us at PABigfootCampingAdventure@gmail.com. And my contact information is on the website as well. Just don't prank call me at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's all I ask. So, yeah, if my phone rings and I see it's you, I'm not answering.
I know, right? You'll be like, yeah,
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we're going to play a couple of commercials heading out. Thank you all again. We'll be back next month, sometime in mid to late May, doing this all again. And maybe we'll have a special guest with us. We'll find out then.
Absolutely.
So for Jay Bachochin, I'm Eric Altman. Thank you all for watching, guys, and have a wonderful rest of your Friday night.
See you at the Camping Adventure.
Crazy.